never failing, yeah.
Praise the Lord, praise Him. Praise the Lord, praise Him. I thank Him for joy and peace divine. Hey, when I was sad and lonely, I didn't know what to do. I thank Him for saving my soul. Praise the Lord, praise Him. You gonna praise the Lord, praise Him. I thank Him for joy and peace divine. Oh, when I was sad and lonely, and I didn't know what to do. I thank Him for saving my soul. I thank Him for saving my soul. I thank Him for saving my soul.
No more fear of missing out. CVM TV News is on YouTube. Get up-to-date news, sports, and business content at CVM TV News anytime, anywhere. Subscribe now to CVM TV News to see it happen.
Are you really going to miss this? Prove you're not that guy. Every step counts. Sign up now. The time by Sagicor Sigma run is
7 o'clock. Coming up in CVM News at 7, Jamaican hero Marcus Garvey pardoned by outgoing U.S. President Joe Biden. Civil servants urged to persevere amid less than ideal working conditions. Bushfire strikes fair in Manchester. Local representative makes appeal. In Inspired Jamaica, Ember of Grief, a cycle of pain after losing 3 children. While in sports, JPL leaders Mount Pleasant flex their dominance with a 2-love victory over Arnett Gardens. From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7 for Sunday, January 19, 2025. I'm Carolyn Brown. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, there's a major milestone in the fight to restore justice for Jamaica's national hero Marcus Garvey, with Democratic leader Joe Biden offering the historic leader a posthumous pardon for sentences faced decades ago. The move comes a day before Biden is replaced by incoming U.S. President Donald Trump. Shantae McNeil has that story.
Over a century after his 1923 conviction for mail fraud, a case widely criticized as racially and politically motivated, Jamaica's first national hero, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, has received a posthumous pardon from U.S. President Joe Biden. The historic decision, announced on Sunday, has been hailed as a step toward justice and a powerful acknowledgement of Garvey's enduring legacy. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, in a statement, called the pardon the first step of total exoneration and a restoration of Garvey's dignity as a global champion for freedom, empowerment, and equality. Holness praised members of the diaspora and successive Jamaican governments for their efforts in this monumental achievement, declaring January 19, 2025 a day of triumph for Jamaicans everywhere. Opposition leader Mark Golding also commended President Biden's use of clemency powers, which highlights Garvey's profound influence on black empowerment movements.
President Biden's action acknowledges the profound impact that Garvey had in shaping the narratives of freedom, equality, and justice. Garvey's principles of unity and self-determination serve to solidify and embolden the mandate of social justice movements in Africa and its diaspora, and will also encourage a new generation of Pan-Africanist advocates to assume a mantle of leadership with a renewed sense of purpose.
He added that this is a reminder for Africans to continue their fight for freedom.
While grave issues of inequity and imbalance continue to face African peoples and the diaspora, this action provides a beacon of hope and is an emblem of resilience and determination. Action, self-reliance, the vision of self, and the future have been the only means by which the oppressed have seen and realized the light of their own freedom. Let us continue to draw inspiration from his life and work.
Garvey, founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and the Black Star Line, was imprisoned in 1925 under the administration of President Calvin Coolidge. His 5-year sentence became a symbol of systematic racial injustice, which his vision of economic and social upliftment for black people inspired millions across 40 countries. Iconic figures such as Martin Luther King Jr. and Nelson Mandela credited Garvey's work as foundational to the modern civil rights movement. In 1969, Jamaica honored Garvey with his highest distinction, the Order of National Hero, 29 years after his death. His remains were repatriated in 1964 and laid to rest at National Heroes Park in Kingston. Garvey's contributions remain pivotal in discussions on racial equity and justice worldwide. Shante McNeil, CVM News.
Despite rainfall in some parishes, others have been recording dry and windy periods, resulting in bushfires and increasing concerns. Now, only this afternoon, locals in Williamsfield, Manchester, were driven to fear as fire raged near a major export facility. Nika Lewis has that report.
Where there's smoke, there's usually a fire. Such was the case in one Manchester community on Sunday when locals saw plumes of smoke rising in the vicinity of a factory, sparking concern.
Well, I got a call from a resident that there was a fire at a company, a major company in the Manchester community, in the Williamsfield community to be exact. So I reported and to try to see how best we could give some assistance or to find out exactly what's happening. To my knowledge, there has been minimal damage to the building, but there was a major fire in terms of maybe board and so forth. From my information, there's no damage to anyone or there's anyone who has gotten hurt. But we are thankful that the damage is minor from what I have seen.
The councillor shared that the fire did not directly affect the factory. This as he cited the crucial role of the facility to local earnings.
This is a major employer. This is a major agricultural facility. This is a major infrastructure for the parish of Manchester and for the export market. So I'm happy that the damage from what I have seen seems to be minimal.
The dry and windy conditions prove ideal for bushfires. It's why the councillor is reminding locals to light fires with care during this period.
The last council meeting, we had a discussion, a robust discussion on the bushfires itself, and we asked our farmers to see how best they can minimize the lighting and the clearing of lands. It is a dry spell. This is also a windy time, so we're asking that the persons take the precautions across Manchester itself and the belt, because agriculture is a staple and it's an important aspect of livelihood of the people from Manchester. So we are happy that the damage, as I said, is minimal, but we also want to remind the persons that clearing of lands and the lighting of fire must be with severe precautions because it is dry and it's also windy.
Meanwhile, he's making an appeal to the powers that be, namely the water minister.
That since about late November, early December, we have not had any rains, and we have seemed to have not yet on a dry spell, and the drought is upon us. There's water shortages in Manchester itself. So I'm asking that the relevant authorities see how best they can assist with the residents of Manchester and to alleviate the plight that is there. So I'm asking the relevant stakeholders, the minister, the ministry, the prime minister, to see if they can allocate some funds for the trucking of water. Right now, presently, I have the basic schools, the primary schools would have called seeking assistance. So I know this upcoming week, the members of parliament, the councillors are going to have to give assistance to our schools, to our health, and to also to the police stations.
His plea extends to other parishes that have been suffering a similar fate. Nika Lewis, CVM News.
Sidewalks in Kingston and St Andrew have become battlegrounds. Now, in the effort to restore order, authorities warn if individuals continue to use these walkways for reasons outside of their main purposes, they will face legal consequences. Shantae McNeil explains.
Illegal garage operators in Kingston and St. Andrew who continue to use sidewalks for their businesses could soon face legal action. The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, is cracking down on those defying its directives to relocate their operations. City Inspector Alaric Francis issued a stern warning on Friday.
The sidewalk is for pedestrians to use. The roadway, again, it is for vehicular traffic and to traverse. It is not to operate garage operation. And so I'm going to ask persons who continue to do this practice to cease and desist. The team will be going around serving these notices, and once there's no compliance, we will be taking the necessary action, not just to come and remove, but to take the legal action.
Since last year, the KSAMC, in partnership with the National Solid Waste Management Authority and the Jamaica Constabulary Forces Public Safety Branch, has issued over 1,000 notices under the parochial road law. The initiative seeks to remove derelict vehicles and illegal garages clogging streets and sidewalks. Francis highlighted the dangers imposed by derelict vehicles, some of which have reportedly been used by criminals. Despite notices, some operators remain defiant.
And we have seen where some residents have complied with the notices served, but the majority have not. And because they have not, we are out here and we are doing what we are supposed to be doing, where we are removing these derelict from the roadway and sidewalk.
Francis also underscored the health benefits of clearing the sidewalks and roadways.
Each area that we have gone so far and removed derelict vehicles, you will see a myriad of garbage built up in these areas and rodent infestation. So it is not just where we are removing derelict vehicles, but it's where we are promoting public safety and also public health.
He insists these enforcement activities will continue weekly as the KSAMC intensifies efforts to make Kingston and St. Andrew safer and cleaner for all. Shantae McNeil, CVM News.
And we'll continue with more from our news desk in just a moment.
Make money now with local City and Guilds and ABE endorsed certificates and Distinction College. Start new online and face-to-face classes very soon in our Make Money Now career courses and get qualified jobs worldwide or start your own business in practical pediatric, geriatric, and psychiatric nursing, phlebotomy and pharmacy technician, early childhood education, childcare, cashiering, call center, event planning, receptionist, customer service, housekeeping, waitering, food preparation, bartending, cake baking, plumbing, motor vehicle, electrical installation, air conditioning, makeup, hairdressing, nail technician, and cosmetology. No subjects required, no age limit. Register this week and get City and Guilds Maths and English classes for free. Call us at 3564167.
Sports fans, get off the sidelines and join the action with Just Bet. Bet on your favorite teams anywhere online at www.supremegames.com or visit one of our 100 locations island-wide. With enough games and the best odds, you can win big with Just Bet. Be a part of the game. Feel the thrill of winning. Join the action with Just Bet. Must be 18 years old or to bet. Game responsibly.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Till the day come.
We are back, bigger and better.
We still the same ones.
Let me tell you.
A big deal, something I'm not telling a lie.
Let's go!
I'm on Jamaica.
We are here.
Double sensation. Mob until the day comes.
It's a vibe.
Listen, new adventures.
Quite exciting.
Green, yellow, black flag.
We'll find the crevices and the corners.
Whether it be Magati in a town, yeah. You don't think it's nothing yet? Easy yourself.
Yard man style when I come true.
We are back for season 2 of Corner Office.
Back to school time.
We are highlighting small businesses, hard-working Jamaicans who are doing their own thing in their own spaces. People who are in their role, bossing up their role.
Let's go! Let's get it.
It's not if you own the company or not, it's how you own the role.
I feel like I'm patient right now.
Guess what? It is your Corner Office. Season 2, bigger and better. And guess what? You don't think it's nothing yet? Check it out. Put the end of the place. Undercover. Easy yourself.
Welcome everybody. We are back.
Season 2 of The Holy Road. Season 2. We are here. Let me tell you, I am super excited to be on for another season to show you The Holy Road.
Listen, new adventures. We might be moving further out of Kingston, further out of anywhere nearby. We'll find the crevices and the corners that have the most unique stories.
Our days get a little complex sometimes. Often so many things make sense, yet so many do not. We are being intentional about giving prominence to the big stories in order to clarify and enlighten. Lead Story explains who, what, when, where, why, and how. Lead Story with George Davis, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. on CVM TV.
Welcome back. Thanks so much for staying with us. Jamaica is taking bold steps to prioritize the mental health of its younger population with the launch of a groundbreaking child and adolescent wellness center. Shante McNeil has the details.
A new dawn for children's mental health in Jamaica. The St. James Child and Adolescent Wellness Center has officially opened, marking a historic step in addressing the mental health needs of the nation's youth. A collaborative effort between the Ministries of Health, Education, National Security and Foreign Affairs, this European Union-funded project showcases the government's commitment to the well-being of the next generation. Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang emphasized the project's importance in Western Jamaica, where exposure to crime and violence takes a heavy toll on children's mental state.
We can reduce the homicide rate to, the 10 per 100,000, which is the kind of number you look to get for, in a peaceful and orderly society. But the reality is that in any community, especially urban community, there will be other stress factors. It was recognized that we needed this kind of service early in the Western region. The background I gave you earlier of the number of homicides and the nature of violent society tells you loud and clear that we need this kind of service, and we need it in a sustainable, ongoing manner, so the professionals are appointed.
Meanwhile, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton highlighted the urgency of the initiative, citing alarming statistics about children's mental health.
20% of Jamaican children have a mental health disorder, including depression, anxiety, attention deficit hyperactive disorders, as well as post-traumatic stress disorders and conduct disorder. 63% of Jamaicans with mental health reports onset from before 25, and 35% of Jamaicans with mental health disorders report an onset before 14 years old.
Located in Western Jamaica, this new wellness center promises to be a haven of hope for youth, offering a range of services from early intervention and counseling to therapeutic and rehabilitative care. Shante McNeil, CVM News.
Meanwhile, as civil servants welcome another round of negotiations with newly minted Finance Minister Favour Williams, the president of the Jamaica Civil Service Association, the JCSA, Tisha Clark Griffiths, says heavy on the agenda will be a mental health break for members. She cites the growing concern with civil servants attempting to self-harm due to the rigors of life and their roles. She was speaking to CVM News at the association's annual general meeting in Manchester recently.
We have noticed over time is that a lot of our members are really suffering mentally, and we recognize that because a lot of the grievances that we receive, we recognize that these persons are having a mental breakdown, and so those persons are afraid to come forward to say that they are really suffering mentally, and so they act out. And of course, you'd have seen the recent case where the gentleman went up on the transportation center just to get attention, and so we need to be a little bit more empathetic to our members, and what we are going to be advocating for is for mental health days for those persons who have stressful jobs.
Now, there are also other plans to include other benefits for its members.
We also want to look out for persons who are doing overworked and burnt out, and we recognize that these persons are not speaking about it because they are afraid. Some are being victimized, and we recognize that even if they come to the union, sometimes we have a difficulty in getting them to even document those things. And we want to have an government service where doors are open so persons feel free to come and express themselves. Also, persons who have lost loved ones, suffered trauma, there is no compassionate leave for them. And so we're asking for those things to be considered in the upcoming negotiations.
Here now is our regional and international recap.
We begin with news in the region. In Haiti, the Associated Press is reporting that Kenyan police officers arrived Saturday in the French-speaking country as part of a multinational force to curb gang violence in the Caribbean nation. The force was greeted in Port-au-Prince by Haitian Prime Minister Alex Didier Fizemi and other officials. Over in Barbados, already an estimated 300 jobs have been created with construction of the Digital Innovation and Health Tech Hub, as officials remain upbeat about plans for the new facility. Here's the CBC.
What we're going to have at Newton is the capacity for 16 new businesses. And what we realize is that we've had a history, and we do already have an existing medical technology or health technology industry in Barbados. We believe that there's far more scope for that industry to grow. And quite frankly, if we are looking to attract business to Barbados, and if we're looking to empower local entrepreneurs, what is it that they need? They need space to operate. They need fit-for-purpose space to operate. They need the technology to fuel that space.
And internationally, 3 Israeli hostages have been handed to the Red Cross in Gaza before their transfer to Israel. The Israeli military has confirmed. More from the BBC.
Everything has been put in place. This was a process that was actually used during the last ceasefire, where Hamas hands the hostages over to the Red Cross, as we've been seeing. We've seen in the past, different routes being used. There was one particular occasion, one hostage release, where they actually brought a different route out of Gaza. Instead of being taken down to the south, they were actually brought out through a much quicker route halfway down the strip, because one of the hostages needed urgent medical attention. But the way that these things normally work is that they go down, they are handed over to IDF forces, and we've been watching those live pictures as well of Re'im in the south of Israel, where the Israel Defense Forces will take possession, if you like, of the hostages. They will check them over, and then they will take them as quickly as possible. They take them by helicopter just to make that journey as quick as possible. They will take them to Sheba Hospital, where we were seeing and hearing Jonah just a few minutes ago. And then that process of rehabilitation, of medical treatment, but also crucially of reuniting them with their families.
That's it for regional and international news. I'm Mika Lewis.
Stay with us. Inspire Jamaica is next after this.
the internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
It's 7 days since the house fire in St. Anne, which claimed the lives of the Mattis siblings, 7-year-old Tashona, 4-year-old Tashwini, and 2-year-old Tavano. Inspire Jamaica reached out to their maternal grandmother who survived, and we found out she's already carrying a deep scar of grief for a child.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
There's no escaping it. Grandma Robin Roach was there, the only adult home at the time. Fire engulfed this house on Sunday, January 12, trapping and burning to death 3 of 4 children, all minors.
The last thing that I remember about them, crying out for grandma.
And you unable to get to them, eh?
No, miss.
The little one, though, and he's 5. He's a middle child. How did he manage to come out?
Because he cried to me more than the other rest of them. So he was sleeping with me.
1 week later to date. What's his name?
Paddy Mattis.
And when was the last time you have seen him since the incident?
Sunday was the final day.
You have not seen him since?
No, miss. Not hear him.
Wow. How does that make you feel?
Stressed out, miss.
That little boy is accounted for home with his paternal grandmother. Have you heard from your daughter?
No, miss. Nothing, miss. Nothing.
I should not try to reach her sister.
No, miss.
That's quite a burden right there.
I think she's pregnant, miss.
She's pregnant?
With twin.
Let me just gonna ask you straight up. Have you ever discussed with her, like, doing contraceptive and stuff like that?
Yes, Mrs. Donnet, she get pregnant.
As the scars from these flames rise, it seems from the bloodline of this 50-year-old grandmother Roach, who had 6 children, to her 24-year-old last born, who had 4 and twins on the way, the generation of twins attract controversy, spiked with allegations.
I was a twin, and they took him from birth away from me, so only 5 around.
Is it that you were not able to care for the half of the twin?
It died. He away from me and tell me that it died. And next year I saw a gentleman, big man, and he looked just like the other one what I have. I asked him some questions, and it was there. He recognized that the person what they said was his mother and father wasn't his mother and came, but he told me that he don't want to have anything to do with me. I must leave him. He's okay.
His twin brother, she says, lives overseas. Now, the unfortunate reality is, in the first month of 2025, one family in St. Anne accounts for 3 of 4 deaths by fire. These flamed scars are what the firefighters want to avoid before they even become a spark for little ones to attempt to put out.
What we want is for you to get out and be safe, okay? Ball for help, ball out, help, fire, for an adult or fire, to call the fire brigade for you. We do not want you to get involved in firefighting, okay? It can be very dangerous for you if you don't understand what to do. So, at sight of any fire at all, get out. Get out. And when you get out, do not go back in. I want you to repeat that. Once you get out, you stay out. I didn't hear you.
Once you get